now I figure definitely going to continue to do this and help families build generational wealth through real estate this time around. So I'm super excited to be here. More and more, I'm really loving this business. There's so many opportunities out there, so many things you can do with real estate. I mean, it's amazing. And I hope that you guys are also seeing the amazing, abundant opportunities out there and that you guys keep pushing forward. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. We love having you. We used to role play. I don't know, what was it, a year ago, 2 years ago? Yeah, you've done a lot. You were busy back then. You're busy now. She never stops, guys. She's just like the Energizer Bunny, just keeps going. So,
so like, I gotta do this, go all in. Here I am.
And we got super broker Art McLarty. I love Art. We talk all the time. Tell us about yourself, Art.
Well, I'll be brief because I've lived too long. I have too many chapters. But my background includes my first career, I was a Christian pastor. Then after that, I became a medical doctor for a decade in Portland, Oregon. I was primary care doc. And then after that, I became a financial advisor with Morgan Stanley. I was also securities licensed, Gaby, 7631. I forget now. I'll remember those. And then after that, I went into real estate. Then after that, the market crashed in 2009. So I went to China and for 1 year, but stayed 11. And I came back to visit family in Southern California, and here I am in Redlands, California. I intended to go back to China, but that didn't work out. That chapter closed, so I am now trying my best to develop yet another career here in real estate. Second time in real estate. I was in real estate before, but after medicine. But so here I am in Redlands, California, east of LA, on Interstate 10, about 90 or 80 miles east of LA.
And your phone number? What's your phone number there, Art?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 909 674 4409.
Fantastic. And Gabby, we got yours, 909-905-0990?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Okay, so Gabby's going to take it from her pre-qual on through to the listing presentation, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it. And Art, are you guys gonna battle it, or are you gonna do kind of an easy one? How do you feel? What you guys worked out?
I'm going to probably make her job easy simply because I'm imagining a situation where I'm not antagonistic. I'm trying to get a job done.
Okay. All right. Take it from here.
Awesome. All right, Art, let's do this. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Art?
Yes, it is. Who's asking?
Art, this is Gabrielle. I'm a local real estate advisor here in the area. I've noticed that your property just came off the market this morning, and I'm calling you because I am confident that I can help you get this property sold. And I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you exactly what I do differently to get properties sold, especially in the shifting market. So would 3 o'clock work for you today, or would 4 be better?
Whoa, young lady. Let's slow down just a little bit. I'm not so eager to jump into it right now. The property expired, but I am interested in selling it. So give me a little more information before I'm going to commit to you.
Absolutely, Art. I completely understand. Obviously, you're very hesitant right now because you just had this property on the market for 6 months and unfortunately it didn't sell. And I like to also meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you exactly how I can help you and benefit you financially in the sale of this property whenever you are ready to list it. So would you have 20 minutes later this afternoon, around 2 o'clock, or would 3 o'clock work better for you?
No, I think I'm going to wait a little bit. I've got a professional background. I'm sure you're doing your best to be a salesperson. I can appreciate that, but kind of think I want to catch my breath a little bit.
Yeah, no, again, I completely understand, Art, that obviously you want to take things slow and kind of regroup and take a step back and figure out how you're going to move forward. And I hear you say that you also want to still sell the property. You're just not really ready to really make that move once again because, like I mentioned, you had an experience where the property didn't sell. Art, let me ask you this. So when are you thinking that you might put the property back for sale?
Well, I don't know. I'll tell you what. Uh, I do need to sell the house. I'm moving my practice up to Portland, Oregon. I need to be up there by October. So why don't you just come on over. Probably I'm in the office this afternoon, but I could meet with you later, maybe after supper if you've got your 20 minutes or so. How about 6:30? The wife will be home. Kids will probably be kind of running around, but we can handle that.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm really looking forward to seeing you and your wife this afternoon, this evening, actually at 6:30. I am very confident that you're going to be very, very happy with my services. And Art, before I let you go so that I can better prepare for our meeting, I have a couple of quick questions that I want to ask you, Art. When we sell your property, whereabouts were you? I know you mentioned you're moving to Portland, Oregon, right?
Right.
Is
Right.
that specifically, and what specifically is the reason why you're moving out there?
Oh, I'm changing where I'm practicing medicine.
Okay,
I got an offer for, and I used to live up there, so I took an offer up in Portland, and they want me there in the clinic by October.
okay, by October. Okay, perfect. Amazing. And obviously you want to be there by October. What is so important for you about being in Portland, Oregon by October? I know you mentioned you just got a big promotion. You have a new job, a new position out there in the medical field. What else is most important to you about the move?
Just that. I used to live in Portland, and I did some of my medical training in Portland, and I just decided it was time for. We've been here in Redlands for 15 years, and I like the Northwest. The kids we got three little kids now, believe it or not, they're still little. So we need to get up there, and I want to get settled in. And it's not a job promotion, it's just a switching where I'm going to practice medicine.
Oh, okay, great. That sounds amazing. That's so exciting. And let me ask you, Art, have you started maybe considering interviewing other agents for the job of selling your house?
No, dear, I just when expired yesterday, so you're the one of the first ones that have called, and you sound very pleasant. So, yeah, come on out and do your thing. Let me see what you got to offer.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much. So, Art, let me ask you this. What specifically are you looking for in the next agent that you will hire?
Just a good agent. I like someone who can communicate well, who is comfortable meeting people, and who is knowledgeable. Just the typical things.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely understand. So you mentioned some very key factors there, communication, someone that obviously can just help you get this property sold quickly and for top market price, correct?
Yes, exactly. Mhm.
Awesome, awesome. And when I see you, how much do you want to list your property for?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I tell you the truth, I've been too busy. Uh, I think the home is worth somewhere, um probably in the eight or low nines. But that's just a guess based on some sales around the neighborhood. Our house is a little bit bigger, and it's a corner lot. It's a little bit larger actually, and there have been some things upgraded inside and outside that probably make it on the upper edge of that.
Okay, amazing, Art. So I will be preparing a very detailed comparative market analysis that I will be presenting to you during our appointment this afternoon. And
Excellent.
we'll look at what's going on in the market so that we can all agree on the price. So that's exciting. And do you currently have a mortgage on this property or do you own it free and clear?
No, we have a mortgage. We're probably I still have about 300,000 on the mortgage. We've got close to a good 500,000 probably in equity, I'm guessing.
Amazing, amazing. And I know you mentioned your wife will be there present this evening. Is there anyone else that needs to be present that's part of the decision-making process in your household?
No, the kids will try to be, but they're not really part of the process.
Okay, amazing. All right. Art, one last quick question. At the end of our meeting, if you are confident that hiring me is the best decision you can make, would you be ready to go ahead and list this property with me so we can go ahead and get it sold?
Well, if you can show me a competent plan, and I like you when I see you in person, and I'm convinced that you can get the job done, I'll just be happy to give you a shot at it.
Amazing. Fair enough. That's good to me. And once again, I am so excited to meet you this evening. And again, I'm very confident that when we meet, you'll clearly see why we should be working together. So I'll see you this evening at 6:30.
All right, sounds good. What was your name again?
Yeah,
Gabby?
Gaby Ballesteros.
Gabby, nice to, I will look forward to seeing you and meeting you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Art. We'll talk
Mhm.
soon. All right, awesome. So that was the call and the appointment setting pre-qualification. Now we're going to go into the listing appointment. So here we go. All right. Art, I am so excited to help you get this property back on the market and get it sold. And thank you once again for having me here.
Oh, no.
I know that obviously, before we get started, I want to assure you that my goal is to help you get this property for the most money possible in the least amount of time and with the least amount of hassle. That is what you want, isn't it?
Well, I suppose that's what everyone wants. Yep.
Exactly. Absolutely. So when we spoke earlier this morning over the phone, you mentioned that you are moving to Portland, Oregon,
Yep.
because you are taking a job in the medical field. You're switching industries or at least fields, right?
No, I'm just switching locations. I'm a head and neck surgeon here, and I'm taking a position with Good Samaritan Hospital Clinic in Portland, and doing the same thing.
Amazing, amazing. And I know you also mentioned that you want to make sure that you get there by September, because obviously you also have little kids that need to get back to school. So you want to make sure you get out there on time and get them back to school, correct?
Yes, that's right. Hmm.
Awesome. Is there anything else that maybe we left out that is still very important to you about this move that I should know about?
No, just get this house sold. We'll have to locate another one in Portland and get set up, get life set up there.
Amazing, amazing. So, of course, we're going to get your property sold here in Redlands. And then obviously, you want to make sure that you're able to buy the next property out in Portland, Oregon, correct?
Yes, sure.
Awesome. So, I am so excited to really help you in that process as well. And I will make sure that I find an amazing agent for you that will help you buy that next property in Portland, Oregon. Okay.
Okay, I have a couple suggestions I can give you, people I've worked with in the past, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, that's amazing. I would love to work with those agents to make sure my goal is to make sure that you're taken well care of, right? So that way they can take care of you. Thank you so much. All right. So Art, this is very important what I'm going to go over because obviously this is one of the main reasons why you decided to meet with me today. And when we spoke over the phone, I mentioned to you that I do things very differently than other agents and that I have a very specific marketing plan that will help you get your property sold quickly and for top market price. Obviously, that's what you want, correct?
Sure. Yep.
Perfect. So are you familiar with the difference between active marketing and passive marketing in regards to real estate?
No, but I can imagine what it is, just based on the terms.
Absolutely. So, and the reason why I bring this up is because obviously the reason why a lot of properties out there unfortunately don't sell, especially the first time around, is because of the poor marketing plan, right? The very passive marketing plan that 99% of agents do out there. So what they do is they put the property on the multiple listing service, is a passive strategy. They put it on hundreds of websites, right? They do just listed postcards. Art, what else do agents do these days, or at least your previous agent? What else did he or she do before to market your home?
Not enough, that's for sure, because the home didn't sell. We did a couple of open houses. They're not too convenient because we live here, and with three children, it's a little, there's some working around that has to be done in my practice, and my wife works a couple of days a week. I would say uh, it was a friend I met at church who was in real estate, and nice guy, but didn't do a lot. Did pretty much what you just said. Kind of put the sign up, put it on MLS. Um, might have done some social media stuff. I'm not sure. It wasn't. It certainly wasn't very out there in front as far as I was concerned.
Absolutely, I completely understand. So you mentioned open houses. That's definitely very common that a lot of 99% of agents do out there. That's a very passive strategy. And also, I'm sure maybe some broker previews, maybe had some agents come out, possibly. Not sure if they did that, but those are very passive marketing strategies. And the reason why I bring this up is obviously these marketing strategies, the agent just sits there and waits for the property to sell on its own, and the agent just sits there and waits for a buyer to call them. And unfortunately, that's why the property did not sell, because these agents are just being very passive and they're just waiting for someone to call them. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm not being a real estate agent myself.
Exactly.
I,
So, and wouldn't you agree that obviously we have to do something very different than just those type of passive marketing strategies this time around to make sure that your property sells, right?
I would hope so.
Exactly. So here's what separates me, Art, from 99% of agents out there. So I am actually an active and aggressive agent. So how do I do this? Well, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until noon, I am on the phone looking for buyers and sellers. I am speaking to 30 to 40 people a day about buying and selling real estate. Obviously, I will be doing all of those passive marketing strategies that we just talked about, except for open houses. Like you mentioned earlier, I am not going to bother you and get you out of your house and your kids on a Saturday or Sunday just to do open houses, because that's going to be a waste of your time. And the reason why that happens is because this is a very passive strategy as well. You're basically just opening the house, sitting there and waiting for buyers to come through the door. And did you know that only 3 to 5%, if that, of the actual potential buyers that walk in an open house actually end up putting in an offer on that specific home?
No, no.
Exactly. So in other words, most of these people that are walking through the door are just neighbors, or they just want to see how your house looks, or they're just browsing and seeing how the neighborhood is. They're really not serious buyers. So my job is to make sure that I personally reach out to all of these neighbors around the area and these specific potential prospects, and let them know that your property is for sale. They don't need to come through the door to do that. I will make sure that I reach out to every single neighbor in your area to let them know that your property is for sale. Okay. And Art, there are a few things that I actually do that really separates me. Once again, what I do is I start calling expired listings first thing in the morning. And why do I do that? Because of course, that's the whole reason how I got a hold of you, right? I called you, and you're an expired listing. So here we are. And at the same time, it is critically important that I continue to get more listings. And you're probably asking yourself, well, how is that going to benefit me? How is that going to help me in selling my property? Well, as you know, the number one source of attracting buyers is actually having more listings. And the way that this works, Art, is when I actually get more listings in different areas of the county and I prospect around those areas at the same time, I can find someone that describes me your property. And what's going to happen is I will go ahead and let them know that your property is for sale and bring them to your beautiful home. And Art, that is actually called cross-selling. Do you see how that can work in your benefit?
Sure.
Absolutely. So again, it's so important because obviously, Art, you're hiring me to make sure that I expose your property as much as possible. Did you know that in our multiple listing service, there are currently about 56,000 properties for sale right now? Exactly. And why it's so important that I reach out to as many people as possible to let them know that your property is for sale, because your property can be lost in the shuffle. And if I don't contact these people directly, they're not going to know about your property. And this is exactly why you're hiring me. You're hiring me to make sure that I market your property actively and aggressively. Obviously, if you wanted to, just put the property on the multiple listing service, do those passive strategies, you don't need me for that. You don't need an agent for that. You can do that yourself. So the main reason why you're hiring me is to make sure that I proactively reach out to all of these potential buyers. And of course, you're hiring me to negotiate the best price, the highest price, and the best terms for you. And we'll talk about that in a couple of moments. And another thing that I want to emphasize how important it is that I also reach out to the top agents in the area to let them know that your property is for sale. Because again, with all of these thousands of properties for sale in the multiple listing service, if I don't contact these top agents that I know have buyers in these areas, these agents may not even be actively looking at the MLS and sending these properties to their buyers. So I have a way to go back to the MLS. It's called reverse prospecting. I actually look up all of these agents that have buyers that are looking for this type of property, this type of criteria. So that's extremely important. Do you see how that would work in your benefit as well, Art?
Sure.
Exactly. And let's see. Once again, Art, you and I both know there is a buyer for your property out there. And my job is to go find that buyer. That's what you would expect your next agent to do for you, isn't it?
Sure.
Exactly. All right. So let's go ahead and like I mentioned, obviously, I will make sure that we have beautiful professional photos and an excellent description of your property to make sure that it stands out. I am an expert on that, Art. Okay, I will make sure that your property is just positioned in the most professional and possible, right? Light possible. So I'm super excited to help you with this process. And like I mentioned earlier, the reason why you're also hiring me is to make sure that I negotiate everything for you, from inspections to repairs to making sure that you walk away with the most money possible, and that I negotiate the highest price and the best terms for you, because I'm sure that is very important for you so that you can go ahead and, of course, buy the home that you want in Portland, Oregon, right? Exactly. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead. Are you ready to go ahead and move on to the market analysis that I prepared for you so that we can go ahead and agree on a price so we can get your property back on the market and this time getting it sold? Are you ready?
I'm listening.
Awesome. All right. So Art, as we transition over to the computer market analysis, actually, do you have any questions before I move on regarding my marketing plan?
No, I'm just listening. I'm just taking it all in.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And actually, one last thing that I wanted to mention is obviously the agent that you hire, right, is it's very important that you make sure that you have someone like me that's going to help you get this sold. But on top of that as well, is not really the brokerage that I'm with. And at the same time, you can rest assured that I will have all of the resources and tools to help you get this property sold quickly and for top market price. That one thing I wanted to mention, that you can rest assured that I will use everything in my power to help you get this sold, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, Art. So as a real estate expert, I study the real estate market every single day. And my job is to make sure that I provide you with some valuable information that will actually help you clearly understand what is going on in the market today, so that together we can agree on a price, and that way we can get your property sold so that your property can be the next sale in the area. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, great. All right, let me give you a quick example. Let's think like a buyer for a moment. Let's say that you are looking to purchase a new car and you find the car you want for $40,000. And then, like most consumers, you decide to look at a different place to see what the price is for that same car. And you find that same vehicle at another dealership for the same price, but this one has a fully loaded package with leather seats, navigation system, features that you don't need. However, you're getting all of that for the same price. Which vehicle would you buy? Vehicle A or vehicle B with all those features?
Well, same price, got more features. Of course, I'd buy that one.
Exactly, right? Because obviously you're paying the same price for that specific for those features. So let's say that at this point, car B is actually adding an additional $5,000 on the price for those additional features. And like I mentioned, you don't really need that, and you don't need your car payment to go up another $200, $300 a month just for those additional features. At this point, which car would you end up purchasing?
Well, if I didn't need the features and I was paying more as well, of course, I wouldn't want that. I would buy what I needed. I wouldn't buy extra stuff that were just bells and whistles.
Exactly, right? That because if they charge more for that extra feature, then the value is no longer there. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Sure.
All right, see, home buyers think exactly the same way. They have a lot of choices in today's market, and the average buyer looks at 10 to 15 properties before deciding which one to buy. So your property is competing against 9 other properties at any given time. So buyers look at home after home after home, and they look for the one that offers the most features and benefits for the same price or for a lower price. Art, when you think about it, it's all about price, isn't it?
Yeah, every place will sell if it's at the right price. That's a general universal law.
Exactly. Absolutely. And Art, in order for us to determine the price of your home, I have carefully prepared a comparative market analysis so that we can see what has recently sold and what other properties out there are currently active for sale, which are your competition, so that we can decide what would be the best price to put on your property so that yours can be the next sale in the area. And so we can get you to Portland, Oregon and be there by September. Wouldn't that be great?
Sure. That's what I need.
Amazing, amazing. All right. So let's go ahead. I know earlier today I sent you a couple emails. The first email was with my marketing plan, the brief marketing plan. The second email has the CMA and the listing agreement already for electronic signature. Okay. So do you have those opened?
Well, let me see here. I think I do somewhere.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first properties here that we have. These are actually the most recent sales for that really compared to your property. So I know your property is currently 2,500 square feet, right?
Right.
And it has 4 bedrooms. Let's see here. And this property actually is the lot is a full 10,000 square feet lot, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the most recent sales. There's a property that just sold on May 26th of this year, actually just about a month ago. And if you're looking actually at 1320 West Fern Avenue, this property, Art, sold for 870,000. Okay, just on the 20th of May, actually. All right. And this one was a little bit smaller in square footage. It had one extra bedroom, and it also is an older home. So as you can see, this one's actually sold for 870. And then if you look at Art, the next page, I'm looking at page 30 of 51 here of the market analysis. If you look at 1310 San Pablo Avenue, Redlands, that home is actually very close to yours. Did you ever see that property with the for sale sign by chance?
Which one?
The one on 1310 San Pablo Avenue.
I'm not sure what page. I'm looking for that one. I'm
30?
scrolling.
Page 30.
I see the one on Fern. Yes, I have looked at that one.
Okay, perfect. So this one also has 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and the living square footage is 2,400. So it's a little bit smaller than your home. And then also it's right around the same year as yours as well in year build. And this one actually sold for 765,000, Art here. Now, of course, I would like to emphasize that there are 5 factors that determine the value of a property, right? So, as you know, a lot of buyers out there will be getting a mortgage, and the bank will be sending a licensed appraiser to evaluate the home, right? And so in this situation, there are 5 factors that the appraiser is going to look at. The first factor is going to be the location. So location is very important in determining the actual worth, the value of a home. The second thing is obviously the price. So when you think about setting a price on your property, you really want to make sure that we are setting a realistic price, because a lot of owners think that if they price their home high and they are not in a hurry to sell, that the property is actually going to sell for the higher price, because they are thinking, okay, they're going to have the property longer. And actually, that's a misconception, because it's actually the opposite. The more you keep a property on the market, the much more less price is what it's going to sell for. And so we want to make sure that we set a realistic price on your property, so that we can make sure that yours sells for the most money possible in the least amount of time. And we'll continue to talk about that in a few minutes. So I just wanted to point that out. The third factor, Art, is actually the competition. So as we're looking at these recent sales, right? And we're also going to look at the recent active listings, the ones that are currently out there. Those will be your competition, right? So you want to make sure that we're looking at those as well, to make sure that we position your property so that buyers can go ahead and choose yours versus all the others. That makes sense, right?
Yes.
Awesome. The fourth factor, Art, is actually the condition of the property. So obviously, we want to make sure that your property looks its very best, and that the condition is the best that it can be, right? Because when we do an inspection, and there are certain things that need to be, of course, taken into account, that's going to determine the price. That's also important. The last factor is also the market conditions. So when you think about the pre-foreclosures, when you think about short sales, interest rates, high interest rates, and the economy, that all takes into account as to how the property is going to be evaluated. Okay. So just wanted to point those out for you. Do you have any questions about this information that I just explained?
No, not particularly. No.
Amazing. All right. So let's go ahead and continue to move on here with the other recent sales. So as you can see also, besides 1310 San Pablo, you also have another property that just closed as well. Actually, it closed in February of this year, February 25th. And these are the most recent sales in the last 6 months, because that's how the appraiser is going to be. The appraiser is going to be looking at these most recent sales. Okay. You have 1421 Magnolia Avenue. This one actually sold for 820,000, and it's a 4-bedroom.
What page is that?
Yeah, this one's on page 31.
Oh, 31. Okay, let me go back.
Mhm.
Okay, I see it.
Amazing. And so the living area is 2,300 square feet. So it's a little bit smaller. And of course, the lot size is around the same size. And when you keep scrolling down, you can see the pictures of some of these properties. You can take a look at their condition, any upgrades, just the different style, right, in each home. And we can look at and compare to your property. And I know you did a lot of amazing work at your property as well. So you've done great. Art, when we look at this information collectively and we compare it to your property, let me ask you this. What price do you feel we should put on your property so that yours can be the next sale in the area?
Well, first of all, wow, there's just almost too much material to go through. What are they look like the most are selling close to 8. I see a 799. This
Dennis Valenzuela.
let's see, this one was 855. Well, 856 price. I would say somewhere around 9. Seems which is kind of what I thought based on what I know. I mean, when you put all these into the cooker and you stir it around and come out with an average, where do you end up? Some of them are not as nice as our house. There have been some things that I think increase the value over a exact similar house without those things.